Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are doing a tarot reading on something that's been creating a little bit of fuss lately. Is Taylor Swift feeling betrayed by Blake Lively? With all the buzz around the Baldoni trial at the moment, there is speculation that it is affecting their friendship. What's going on? Is there tension, miscommunication, or something else at play here? Let's have a look at what the cards say. Remember, this is alleged for entertainment purposes only, so let's get into it. So I don't know a whole lot about Blake and Taylor personally. I'm not really familiar with what's been going on here, so you might have to help me in the comments make sense of some of what comes through here. So I want to start just by looking at this rumor that Taylor is feeling like it's been a betrayal. Then we might look at what really is going on here. So how is Taylor feeling towards Blake at the moment? Ooh, so I'm not familiar with these two in terms of what their star signs are, but there is a female here. Something around their stability is being called into question here, or maybe their ethics, how they broach the situation. I definitely feel like this is very familiar in this situation. We would expect to see something like this. So maybe Taylor feels that this has been a bit of a reckoning for Blake and that she's being pulled into the crossfire here. But she's certainly not feeling the best about this relationship, and I would be inclined to think that it has had a degree of impact. So let's just pull a few more cards on what's going on with this, on how Taylor's feeling about her friendship at the moment with Blake. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Taylor actually moving on from Blake, or maybe already being in the process of moving on from her. We've got two cards here indicating like a transition, indicating movement, often moving away from someone. So in this context, I'd be inclined to think Taylor's considering cutting her losses here, or she may have already decided to cut her losses and she's moving away from Blake. Let's lock in a little bit more on the actual reasons that have created this situation. Now remember, this is alleged only. I don't know them personally. A lot of ways Taylor did feel blindsided by this whole thing. I don't think like she's someone who likes to be in a position that she's not in control, right? Or something comes as a surprise here. She definitely feels like she was kept in the dark about some of what's happened here, and it's put them at an impasse. So I think there is a bit of blocked communication between them right now, and it has been like this for a little bit. So they're in this kind of stagnancy. I want to take a look more at this Four of Wands that's come through. It's making me wonder if Blake's marriage might be a factor in this. So there has been a gesture, that's what I'm inclined to say. I feel like there's been a gesture of some description, maybe from Ryan, it feels like, towards Taylor to try and repair this. But from Taylor's perspective, this whole situation has soured. Their friendship has soured. Ryan's irrelevant to her actually at this point, because Blake has kind of made the fool of her, even if Ryan was involved in it. So it's going to be difficult to kind of walk back from this. Now we're in this state of, you know, the reversed Wheel of Fortune. We have the Four of Swords, which is often kind of taking a break or a moment of pause. It can also be sickness. I think in an emotional sense, Taylor is kind of like just sick of the drama at the moment with Blake and the impact this is having on her. And it's a choice that she's made. I think she's feeling confident in what she's choosing here to kind of step back a little bit from her. I don't even want to say step back, because I feel like she's moving on from her. Like, she's going to push ahead, and I think it's going to be Blake that's feeling a little bit left behind here. Yeah, so Taylor isn't willing to entertain anything here that is toxic to her work, right? She's built a legacy here. She's worked incredibly hard for everything that she has. This hasn't come easily, you know, there's a lot of effort that's gone into this, and she thinks both Blake and Ryan have been pretty toxic here, and they're going to impact her work, her legacy, her image. And so she's quite happy to kind of cut that in the bud at this stage. They've become a burden. It's almost like that friend that always has drama, and they're trying to pull you into it, but it's on this global scale. Like, everybody can see what's going on between these two. So it's showing them going from the state of friendship. I think they were close. They would have confided in each other. There would have been a lot of parties, a lot of fun times. This kind of energy that Blake's always trying to tell us about, you know, that she's close with Taylor. And then we see this 9 of Pentacles, so someone out there on their own. So I definitely feel like, I don't think Blake is Taylor's as emotional about this as might be implied. I think actually she was emotional about this. She's been through the emotions of it, and I think she's confident actually in her decision to kind of separate a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if she's been a little bit on the quiet side the last few months. She's definitely been doing some reflecting on how to handle this best. So let's have a look actually at the other side and what Blake is feeling about this. So what's going on with Blake? How's she feeling? Feels a bit up and down with Blake. So that, again, she's got the 4 of Wands with this pause. So something about her happiness with Taylor is at an impasse. This is coming back, actually. It's bringing me to the family stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if Blake's, I think her children are quite connected in with Taylor, if she would potentially try and use that as some sort of leverage, or that might be a way to try and link back in to Taylor, because it's as if the family harmony has been kind of disrupted slightly or stalled because of this thing with Taylor. And so she's kind of clutching opportunities here. I think she is reaching out to her. She is trying to make amends, but at the same time we have this 3 of Swords. So she's hurt. She's really hurt by how this is played out. I want to see what really went on actually on this movie set. How involved was Taylor really, or was it that she wasn't involved at all? Let's have a look. Okay, I wouldn't say that, I'm not sure if Ryan is the King of Cups. Somebody tell me in the comments, but it's just telling me the foundation of this situation comes back to a man. This could be Justin as well, but someone here feels like they could be a Scorpio, Cancer, maybe a Pisces. I'm more inclined to say Scorpio or Cancer here. So that's the foundation the situation's coming through, is this man. The reality of it on set and Taylor's involvement in that dynamic, I would be inclined to say she's not as hands-on involved as Blake might have led people to believe. Because maybe Blake was feeling a bit left out in the cold here at times, or she was kind of clutching at opportunities. But it's showing me then this, right? So I'd be inclined to say that Taylor was used as leverage. So her name might have been dropped as a form of leverage by Blake at times, or by Ryan at times. So it's like, oh, she's our friend. I mean, like trying to influence what they're getting from Baldoni, right? They're reminding him that they're associated with kind of heavy hitters, right? And so Blake's or Taylor's name's being brought into it, right? So she was leverage. This is kind of to elevate their status and to kind of present them in such a way that they are in control of the narrative at points when they're trying to negotiate in this. I would also be inclined to say Taylor had an awareness of what's going on, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if there are text messages or there were conversations or communications that she was aware of, and maybe she gave advice in the same way you would give any sort of ordinary friend advice about things that they're navigating in their career. I don't know if it overstepped or not, but we do have to remember that there's that kind of unequal power, like the imbalance in power because of how influential Taylor is. So, and that might have been a factor whether or not she's aware of how far-reaching her impact was in this. So yeah, I would say social media posts, DMs, comments, things like this, text messages might indicate that she had this kind of observer role in things. We're also seeing like an offer here and a lot of stress around it. So I want to clarify what relates to that. So this is, we were kind of reading on Blake. Okay. Oh, okay. It's a lot coming through. Let's just pull again. So it's telling me, and this is maybe a bit more about kind of Blake's perception of Taylor when they were in the moment, and maybe she was feeling like she didn't always have the control and she wanted the control on set, right? She is aware of this public persona that Taylor has, and that she is someone who most people are aware of. She's very A-list, highly influential, and so Blake is enamored with that in a lot of ways. I don't think she has that same kind of combination of confidence and kind of savviness in how to deploy that and engage other people, right? I don't think in a lot of instances she's that well liked, right? But Taylor has the ability to take the energy that's coming towards her from people and to kind of catalyze that into a sort of popularity. And so she's sitting here, she's looking at Taylor as the popular girl, as someone who's a highly influential, and she just wants to be adjacent to that, right? It happened in this work situation on this set, but it's also happening other places and spaces, right? It's really influential in their friendship. And so there's a kind of like always a disappointment in her not having that, but being adjacent to it gave her many of the benefits of that. Now, what we see happening now, when this whole thing blew up, so this whole Baldoni situation blew up and people began to see it kind of for what it is, and maybe Blake was manipulative, and maybe Blake was trying to defame him, or maybe Ryan was, and there were all these kind of bullying kind of tactics going on in the background during the press tour. Blake was concerned that it had then reached a point where there's global attention on what had gone on in this movie set, and that potentially was going to cause her a degree of severance with Taylor, or create some tension in their friendship. So immediate regret, really, whenever this went as big as it did. You know, she's reaping what she sowed now, Blake. Okay, I want to look what's coming in with this situation, and I'll do a separate video if you want to look at the court case or anything like that, but I just want to look quickly today at this rumor about Taylor and hers friendship. So what's coming in between Taylor and Blake next? It's not going to be plain sailing. Okay, I definitely think that there is still a degree of back and forth with them. little gestures. This could be some token, it could be a message, it could be something not being well received. And I think it will become a bit more like my people will talk to your people if there are things kind of pertaining to the court case. I don't think Blake's inclined to give up though. So she's going to be hanging on to try and make this friendship work again. I keep seeing Taylor comes through as the Nine of Pentacles though, so she's pretty intent. Look, there she is, Eight of Cups. She doesn't want anything more to do with her, at least for this time. She's focused on legacy. She's focused on her future. She's not actually that emotionally entangled with this Blake stuff right now. I think more than anything, she's frustrated. She's annoyed that it's come to this. I think it's like, oh, you're really gonna make me have to appear in this courtroom to clean up your mess. Final cards. Yeah, there's definitely the kind of sparks gone out of the friendship here for sure. And there will be more to come. There'll be more to come out in this court case. We'll have a much clearer picture of what their dynamic is, but it definitely feels like fangirl from Blake, and she played too hard and she's come reaping what she's sown now. So good luck to them both. I wouldn't want to be in that situation. The Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Please do drop me a comment and let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye-bye.